Infosys ahead of its September quarter earnings. What can we expect from the IT major? Agam standing by with that. Agam, margins?
Margins, but this time around, it isn't going to be about earnings. It's going to be about guidance and, of course, the strategy and the CEO. But let's get expectations out of the way.
Okay.
We're expecting 3.5% growth sequentially in terms of dollar revenues, rupee revenues, seeing similar 3.5% expected growth. Margins are expected to come off to a certain extent to around below the mark of 24%. Consequently, profits could only see a growth of around 1.3% sequentially. But the big question is, can we expect a guidance cut? Now, the management has given a guidance around 6.5 to 8.5% in constant currency terms for the full year. However, UBS is of the opinion that the top end of the guidance cut has already been factored into Infosys price, and UBS, Kotak, as well as IDFC, all are of the opinion that a complete downward revision of the guidance cannot be ruled out. What is it that's going to bear down on earnings this time around? Well, we know the usual. Softness in BFSI and retail. And of course, there's pricing pressure that has been coming in for Infosys specifically. And we will be looking at wage hikes, and a lot of these wage hikes have come into effect in July. So that could also bear down on margins. But the real question, something that all investors are keeping an eye on, is whether or not we will see a CEO announcement. This morning, we had a newspaper suggest that the Infosys could actually announce a CEO as well. There are two contenders out there. Of course, we're also looking at client spending and budgets, but no one's going to care about that one. Of course, the other very important factor will be the strategy. Now, we're most certainly going to see, how Infosys charts its strategy out, and those are some of the key factors to keep an eye on. Of course, other than the fact that whether or not there could be change in guidance, but it'll all be about strategy and the new CEO.
I mean, the one place where I differ with Agam ever so slightly is that last con call, Agam, almost every analyst that I heard on the con call was asking Nandan one question: what are clients saying with this whole transition that is happening, and if Vishal and the team is going out, what will client reactions be? So right. Maybe that could be something in focus as well, right? I mean,
but Neeraj, somewhere in the mid-quarter, the CEO, that's the interim CEO, had gone to the US and they had spoken to a lot of clients. And after that, they had another con call and they had suggested that for now, clients are happy. They want to remain with Infosys. And of course, then the big questions that I've already spoken to us in the preview.
No, look, I mean, I think for me, it's less numbers. It's the first quarter since Nandan took over. I can't imagine clients not having confidence in a Nilekani coming back to Infosys. You can't have a better person there, despite all the other concerns we may have about how this company keeps turning back to its founders. But today is not the morning to talk about that. I'm just curious to know whether analysts will be looking at the numbers and the minutiae in the numbers as closely as they will be looking at some of the points that Agam put out there. The strategy, the ability to find the right kind of CEO. Will the CEO be someone new coming into the company? Will it be an old Infosys hand, as has been rumored for several weeks now? I think those things will shape the expectations from the company and its performance.
If I may come in here, the paper suggested Ashok Vemuri and BG Srinivas.
That was Business Standard. Yeah, but I think both these names were in the play the day Nandan took over, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, just the very two.
And they have been along with CEO with Infosys for a very long time.
Absolutely.
And they seem.
And if I remember correctly, Agam, I don't remember the dates very correctly, but they both left when they realized that the position at top had been taken over by
Vishal Sikka.
Vishal Sikka. And so therefore they had, obviously Vishal was not going to leave anytime soon. Nobody anticipated then that he would leave as quickly as then. Right? So they assumed that for the next 5, 7, 10 years, they didn't have a shot at the top. Right. So maybe now there is, there's a difference there. But I think to me, those factors will shape the expectations on the company a lot more than whether margins move down to 23 point something % or not. I'm not sure that's going to be the big watch. But let's get an expert voice on this.
Yeah, Sanjeev Hota, Assistant Vice President Research at Sharekhan, joins in on the conversation. Sanjeev, hi. So we four out here in the studios have our own watch points. What would you be watching out for the most? The delivery, the margin picture, client confidence, or the commentary? Or actually the new CEO? I'm giving you a lot of options.
Good morning. First, for the Infosys, I would like to hear the commentary because I don't really think that earnings may surprise in this quarter. So earnings is already in the price. So what is important for Infosys is the commentary going forward. And so what is first important to look for is that recruitment of CEO. I don't really think that is going to happen today and we will have to wait for that. But that's the first priority for Infosys, to get in a good CEO to lead the Infosys. And second is the strategy. And coming to the strategy, I don't really think Nandan Nilekani has any leeway to go beyond what Dr. Sikka has implemented in Infosys. Digital, foregoing the premium pricing. So these two things, I think Nandan Nilekani has to follow, because they cannot go back to the premium pricing. They cannot forego the digital initiative. So these two things going to be there. Beyond that, what Nandan Nilekani is going to do, that need to be checked. But I think interference of founding member, I think, need to be restricted to give a full hand to the new CEO. So commentary on this part is, I think, I would look forward to. And secondly, what is the commentary on the BFS? If you see Infosys in the last 6 quarters, the company growth was muted at around 1.6%. BFS has been muted, but insurance is on the better side, is going much better than the company averages. So what is the commentary on BFS? Because TCS has commented that it's still not out of woods and has anticipated in the start of the year that BFSI is going to ramp up. It is not happening. So what is the commentary of Infosys on BFS and also on retail? Because there is a contradictory statement that has came out from TCS that retail has bottomed out and that like to see uptake in H2. So retail and BFSI is still contribute around 40%, 45% of Infosys. So what is the commentary on this?
I agree with you.
So
that would be very important. But if you were to watch out for one number, Sanjeev, in terms of the delivery for the quarter, what would that number be?
I think again I would like to see the volume numbers, because anyway pricing is not in Infosys hand. It is going, if you see last 9 quarters, 6 quarters, pricing was down, offshore pricing or blended pricing. So pricing I don't think in the Infosys hand, but I would like to see what kind of volume numbers they are going to deliver.